In this video I've actually got this little coffee maker, espressatoria system, model Capino, imported by Cantarella Brothers Limited, Wetherill Street, Silverwater, New South Wales. Also in Auckland, New Zealand. Euro production 2015. And a friend gave me this one. It's out of some stuff he wanted sold. I'm going to have a bit of a garage sale sometime. I get rid of some stuff. But I tried it out just to see what it's like, and it doesn't really get hot enough. It doesn't make a bad coffee. It's one of these little cartridge system things. Push a little cartridge in and shut this down. You can see that thing come across, it punctures it. And the hot water gets injected through it into your coffee cup under the front here. It's usually a little filter thing there I'll just remove for now, and a water tank on the back. So I thought I might just have a quick look. Probably need to empty the water out. It's got tamper-proof screws for half of them, but I thought I'd have a quick look and see if this can be adjusted at all, because it's kind of useless the way it is, which is probably why they got rid of it in the first place. And I wouldn't actually sell this to anyone in this condition, because even though it's technically working and may well be working the way it was made, the coffee is just hot enough when you first make it, and then it quickly gets too cold really, so you can't sort of sit there and enjoy it slowly. Now we've got these triangular head screws. The last couple I'm not sure if I've got a screwdriver to fit them on, but these are sort of things you can use a flat blade on them quite often if you can find one of the right size. Oh, we actually got a new tamper-proof set somewhere. Where is that? There's a triangular fitting. That's in a little mobile phone toolkit, so that's handy. That's what I need. Nice when you got the right tool. Any tighter this probably wouldn't be up to it, but I assume there's something up in here. Or do we need to take this other bit out as well? Maybe. Let's take that off as well, see what's in here. I assume that's where the new cord would be attached, but we might as well have a look anyway. So that doesn't come apart quite so easily. Looks like though, does the cover come off upwards? Well, maybe the sides come off. Is that what is happening here? Looks like it. Because it's all going to be clipped together with no idea how to get it apart. It's a clip there, so I assume there's probably another clip here somewhere. Something there. Oh, I see. Take that out. Oh, that must be your cartridge repository. Pod repository, I guess, isn't it? Coffee pod. I'll use the right term for these things. How does this little SOB come apart? Ah, what a horrible design. Did that actually achieve something? Looks like I'm going to mark it a bit trying to get it apart. Maybe if I jam something in there a bit. Oops. Start to come. There must be more to it than that though. It's this piece here is the problem, I think. That is quite filthy in there, so not the greatest design for cleanliness. And that's why no one probably wants a second-hand coffee machine anyway, because they're not necessarily very clean. Some sort of clip about here somewhere. Unless you know how to do it, you probably can't get it off in a hurry. I think you just might have to keep prizing this apart. Ah, there we go. Not sure it actually let go, but a couple of these clips, that bit sort of sits in there somewhere, but... So what do we got? That's a pump, I take it? Yeah, it's got water thing, inlet, outlets, by the look of it. So that could be a cool little thing to use. 2/1 min CL. $35. Anyway, that's not our element. So I think the water goes into a little tank there by the look of it. That's probably where the heating element is. Can't see any connections to it yet. So, oh, here, that might be the element down the bottom. There's a couple of wires here. So I wonder what sets the temperature. We've got some electronic board here, which of course is also jammed in place. So I've got screws we can now get to. That's our buttons on that side. Maybe try to remove the other side as well. So I guess this is probably clicked up a bit. So it's really just a matter of forcing it a bit harder than you would think is a good idea. And this one side will probably break. Oh, you bastard. Where's the clip out there? A bit further up. There, that's the key. I think you've got to prise it up. And that bit is... Oh, here's our element connections. Probably was those other wires. What do we got here? Something to do with the water. That's our ground connection. I wonder what that does. Not sure I should be undoing this, but anyway. Live and learn, I guess. There's two screws here. I'm not sure I should be undoing this really, but anyway. Yeah, it doesn't want to come apart. Ah, above that screw there's a plastic clip there. And it's clear plastic, so that's got to be a board. Can we release enough wires? I doubt there's going to be any obvious adjustment or anything, but... No, I can't see a trim pod or anything obvious. Like you'd hope. Let's pull the mains connections here because they're holding it back. There we go. So red, white on the inside, brown, white there. Brown, white is the heater. That's a pump. That is the, doesn't tell you. So what runs the heater? It goes into this triac. So I think it will be variable. Probably gets feedback from a thermistor or something, but then it's probably all programmed into the little chip there. So yeah, but not a adjustable thing, I don't think. So there's probably a thermistor in there. That sits down in there. I'm going to take that earth terminal off as well. That's got a washer there to lose, nice. Well, the piece is loose, but the plastic doesn't want to come out from this side. This silver bit here, I assume. Well, that cover, so there's part of the cover. I think there's a clip. That's starting to get it. Probably another one there in there somewhere. Should have left the circuit board out, I think, because that's going to be one of those designs. Everything's in the way of everything else. No, this doesn't want to come out. There's another clip under there. Yeah, we're getting somewhere, so this should probably need to unplug this other bit as well, which I think, god damn yeah, it's this top one with the two white wires. Does have a fuse in there as well. Guess it should in something that's got water in it. No, here we go. Now the plastic's falling apart. And yeah, that is some sort of temperature sensor, I assume. So if this thing isn't getting warm enough, there's a couple of thermal fuses on the unit by the look of it, and these white bits under that metal clamp. So it's basically the electronics that prevents it getting any hotter. So I don't think there's any point putting this thing back together. It's basically not worth doing anything with. If it's not running properly, I just thought it'd be interested to see what's inside one. But there you have it, a little heater block there. I'm not sure if they pump the warm water through and heat it as you go. Maybe that's the idea of it. Once that thing's up to temperature, it probably just does like an instant heat type setup. Where does that go? I don't know what this device is. I don't think it's electrical. So you've got the two heater wires, we've got this three-way connector, which, does it say what it does? I'm not quite sure where that goes. Oh, it goes on, oh, so it does go to that white thing. So maybe that's a flow sensor or something. I can't imagine what else that would be. It's got 3 pins on it, water in, water out, so maybe it's a flow sensor or something. International patents. And yeah, that's our pump. Don't know if you could use that for something else, possibly. don't know if it'd be worth a bother. A couple of very small tubes feeding it. It's got out and in written on that block. It's a PSA, patent pending. A few numbers on that board which don't mean much. Looks like it's quite a nicely built board and everything, which is nice to see. It's got PSA 735 FEP. I wonder if that's something to do with who made this thing. Well, there's a PSA 735 FEP, so that's the same thing as on there. So that's probably something to do with the original makers of these things, the original model number. But there you have it. I think I might just cut the cord off it and toss the rest. I guess these things should really go in the e-waste. Looking inside them, you wouldn't really think so, but there is a bit of electronics in there. But that machine is basically fairly kaput, I think. It did just work, but like I say, it wasn't really much use unless you drank the whole thing instantly. It only makes a pretty small coffee anyway. So I'm not sure if something changed. Maybe there is a way of getting into these boards through the limited pair of buttons we have and doing something to set the temperature. Maybe the sensors got out. Maybe something else is blocked or not working correctly, who knows. But yeah, not really something you can sell secondhand. I didn't even realise it was in the stuff, otherwise I would have just told him to take it to the tip shop. Is probably the best place in case someone wants it. I'm not sure they even accept it, but you can see a little round thing down in there with a bunch of sharp pins on it that puncture your little cartridges. Well, there you can see it in the maybe one each end, so there's a bunch of holes there and a few holes there, and that's how they allow the water to get in there. So where does the water actually come in from? Maybe they got those holes in and they just push it in into this little void here and it comes back out the other side. Can't say it made the greatest tasting coffees anyway. They weren't too bad, but when they're a bit on the cold side, not very appealing. So I think we'll just junk this thing, but it was interesting to have a look inside anyway. What have we got here? That's actually a solid bit of metal there, I think. Possibly die cast or something. Looks like it's probably die cast aluminium. Certainly not worth your time to scrap one of these things. And maybe that box there, I guess, is another piece of irony alley type setup. So I guess I could probably chop those out and break that off or whatever's the quickest way. It looks like it's on a big pivot, so it's probably a pain to get out. Maybe with a hammer. Or maybe you take this top bit off and that can be recycled. That could go in motors and stuff, I guess, because it's got quite a big coil of wire there potentially. And a little circuit board. I mean, the triac off that might actually be useful for something. There's another driver transistor. So that board might even be worth unplugging. I'm just going to pull it right out and have a look. How does that? Oh, there's a screw. But yeah, generally people don't really like second-hand kitchen good. It's alright if you know where it came from. If this actually worked, I might have actually kept it. Though I think it's about over $1 a drink, so they're not that badly priced, but they want to be pretty good if you're not just going to have instant or something. So that's it. It is a... Now of course you can't really read it because it's this laser etched rubbish, and it probably doesn't have standard numbers these days anyway, knowing these things. 6075, so 2N6075, I guess. God, I hate this laser etching. I think it's a BTA12 maybe. BTA12 600, I think. Must be 6008 or something. Can't see what the last. I don't think these are even printed on. 600 BU maybe. I don't think they even print anything now. They just etch it in with a laser or something, so completely impossible to see. Some little microprocessor chip there, I guess. No, can't really read the chip. It's got a debug and program, so there probably is a way of, if you've got the right equipment to plug in, you can probably plug into this board and tell it what you want it to, what temperature you want it to run at and stuff. So maybe that's the idea, but yeah, this I think, don't think that's even necessarily worth bothering with. Pretty short leads on the triac. So probably not. Nice little heatsink though. Could almost be worth saving. And yeah, just the soldered on fuse, the usual kind of thing. And those thermal fuses I guess could be worth. Can we get this a little bit looser? Get rid of that plastic rubbish. And .240 volt, 1000 watts, so quite a powerful little heater there. You can see the element, bits of element going in there, and these should be just thermal fuses. Yeah, these standard little, do we have a temperature in here? Micro temp. That's not what I want though. 2CAA. Should tell me the temperature here somewhere, if I can find the right bit to read. Oh, 152C it says down the bottom. Probably both the same. 152C. They're almost worth salvaging even though the leads aren't massively long, but if you need to fix something in an emergency, and they just unplug. So that could be worth saving. The wire, I think it's actually, oh, that's just those bits, is it? That's covered in some sort of silicon fillings tube, but I don't know that the wire's silicon wire. It could be. Feels a bit better than the usual. It's 200 degrees Celsius, 600 volts. So it is silicon rubber, so that wire's probably actually worth keeping if you need to replace a bit of wiring somewhere or build something high temp. And yeah, we can just cut the hoses off that, I guess. Could be a nice little thermistor in there. Looks like it unbolts. And that thing, if that's a flow sensor or something, could possibly be useful. We've got a micro switch there, and just a couple of little blue LEDs. A couple of standard switches. And the power cord's probably the most useful thing. It's got a little bit of length on it, not a lot, but at least it's 3 core. Make a good test lead. And that's about it for this one, so thanks for watching.